Big Manny, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you.
You're blessed, yeah?
Well.
Good,
How
good.
are you?
I'm blessed always, my friend. Always in, always. Never a complaint over here. We're here to talk about your book. Do you want to hold it up for the people?
This is Science is Lit.
There you go. There's going to be people who can obviously relate to your face from social, but there's a lot of people who are going to be seeing you on the camera thinking, who's this guy? So without further ado, my friend, how do you find yourself here today, having, authored is it your first book?
Yeah, this is my debut book.
All right,
yeah.
cool. So how do you find yourself here, man?
Yeah, man. So I'll give you a bit of background. I used to work as a science technician in the secondary school, and I've got a bachelor's and a master's degree in biomedical science. And when I was working in the schools, I started to realize that the students were struggling with science. And the reason why was because of the lockdown, because during the lockdown, there was a lot of school closures. So what I decided to do was create some science videos to help the students catch up with what they missed out on during the lockdown.
Ah, that's how it started.
Yeah, because I wanted to bridge the knowledge gap that occurred from that, And then the video started taking off, started going viral, like millions of views on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And then what I decided to do after that, was convert the videos into a written format. So then that's how the book came about.
Wow, okay, you was ahead of the game.
Yeah, man, because you know why? Because people learn in different ways.
Of course.
Some people learn through watching, they're visual learners. That's why I made the videos. Some people learn through reading. You know what I mean? Even me, I learn through reading best. So that's why I decided to write the book to cater for those type of learners as well. And we also got the audio book version for those who learn through listening. So yeah, man, I just wanted to target all of those different kinds of learners so I could help as many people as I could.
I noticed in the book as well that you split things up into a simple thing, come on now, and big science, and I love that. Because
I realized that when I first made the videos, it was aimed at secondary school students because I was doing experiments that they're doing in schools. But after a while, I started to realize that even adults were getting interested in it because I got a lot of comments from them saying that when I did this experiment in school, I never understood it. But now that I'm seeing this video, it's making a lot more sense. So that's how even the adults, as well as the students, were taking an interest to that. And the thing with the book here is it can be read by anyone of any age. What I want to do with the book is give people a strong, solid foundation in chemistry so that they can then go and build upon that knowledge and just gain even more knowledge in science.
There's a residual value as well. You've helped to dispel the notion that black people are not into STEM, right? I'm not saying that you've dispelled it all on your own. I'm just saying that in terms of there being a visual reference for us actually engaging in this area of education, I think there's a lot of people who are surprised by how popular and how people have resonated with what your content is. That must be quite satisfying for you.
You know what, I'll be honest, growing up, when I was in school, I wasn't taught about many scientists who look like me. Just to give you a little example, there were two elements discovered called elements 104 and 105. And in school, they taught us about Mr. Rutherford, who discovered that element. But they don't tell you that on his team, he had a scientist called James Andrew Harris, and he was a black American scientist. And he also helped in the discovery of those two elements. But we didn't learn about him, even though he was so monumental in that discovery. So what I'm trying to do with my platform, is show young people that there are scientists out there who look like you, talk like you, dress like you, come from the same background as you. So if they can become a scientist, then there's no reason why you can't as well. You know what I mean? So the thing is, you can't be what you can't see. So that's why it's important for these young people to see scientists from different backgrounds and different walks of life, because it makes it more attainable and accessible for them.
Talk about the language then.
Yeah, you know what, a lot of the language that I use is, as you say, it comes from, a lot of it is Caribbean words. For example, wagwan, you done know. And these are words that I grew up using because I come from a Caribbean background. And that's how it got into my vocabulary from there. And what I didn't want to do is change the way that I speak and the way that I present myself just to conform and just to fit in. I didn't want to do that. I still wanted to be myself and keep that authenticity, because when I do that, yeah, it's going to encourage people to be their true self as well. It's going to encourage them to express who they truly are. So yeah, that's why I think it's important that that I include that language in there, because that's my background.
Your background? Caribbean?
Yes. My parents come from St. Anne.
Jamaica?
Yeah, Jamaica.
Both Jamaican?
Yeah, both parents Jamaican.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been?
Yeah, I've been to Jamaica about 4 times.
So do you get any science like inspirations from the islands yourself?
I haven't not specifically from the islands, because when I went there I was young, so this was like before I started doing any science.
Right. Okay.
But
so when did you realize you had an aptitude for science? You know, that was the direction you were going in. How did you identify the steps to attaining the masters and all of the educational attainment that you outlined already?
I'll be honest, yeah, from when I was a young child, I was really inquisitive. I had a lot of questions. Like, just to give you an example of the kind of child I was, yeah, I used to do things like open up my toys just to see what's inside them, see how it works, what kind of different things are in there. And that's why I started gravitating towards science, because science explains all of those things. It gave me the answers that I was seeking. So that's why I just naturally had an affinity for it. And then when I got into about year 8, yeah, I had a teacher called Mr. Carter. And he was a very engaging and passionate science teacher. Like almost every lesson he's doing experiments. And when he's teaching, yeah, you can literally see his face light up. You can see the excitement, because this guy has a genuine passion for science. And he passed that passion and excitement on to me. And what I'm trying to do is do the same thing for the younger generation, pass that same excitement for science through experiments. And yeah, that's one of my main goals.
What's been the most surprising element of, you know, being who you are and turning into who you are in terms of how popular you are at this moment in time? Because I can see the popularity is going to increase, especially if this book does what I think it's going to do. We're going to get onto that in a second.
I think one of the most surprising things, yeah, is just the impact that it's had on young people's lives. Like, for example, sometimes I'll get messages from young people and they will say something like, maybe I wasn't focusing in school, I wasn't taking my lessons seriously. Maybe outside of school, they were getting involved in things that they shouldn't be. And we all know that could end up in them going down the wrong path. But then when they started watching my videos, they started to focus more in lesson. They started to think about a career and their future. And to know that I could have potentially stopped someone from having that kind of life, and I've kept them on the path of education, there's no better feeling than that, because you feel a sense of purpose. And like, what I'm doing is something positive that is really gonna help people in a massive way. So for me, yeah, just knowing that the impact that's having, like, that was really surprising, because I never thought that I would be able to help somebody to turn their life around like that.
So how did the book deal come about?
Yeah, so the videos took off, and then after a while I received the email from a book agent, and they asked me if I had ever considered writing a children's book. And at that point I hadn't considered it, but I thought it makes a lot of sense, because I'm already making educational videos, so why not make an educational text as well? So the book agent suggested, let's put together a manuscript, 1 chapter, and then we send it off to Puffin, get their thoughts. And we did that, and then Puffin, they loved it, and they said that they want me to write 2 books for them. So yeah, I wrote the book. It took me about 10 months to write it. Wrote it on like a chapter by chapter basis, and yeah, that's how we put it together.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned because they never really come for one book, especially if you've got a profile. So the next book, have you even turned your thoughts to that yet, or is that nothing you? Because I know where it goes. You just want to talk about the book that's being done now, right? We get it. But just in terms of your thoughts and that, have you got some ideas? You have to share them. Have you got some ideas?
Yeah, I'm actually writing the second book right now.
Say no more. So in terms of the the content for this book, right? What's the easiest bit to gravitate to, and what's the most difficult bit? Give us an example for those who are like going to be sitting there thinking, I might grab it, I might not.
I would say the easiest bit, yeah, is that I've literally got step-by-step instructions on how to do the experiment. It literally tells you every little piece of equipment that you need. And the equipment, yeah, it's accessible. It's not things that you have to go look up online and look bare far to find it. No, these are things that you can buy in a supermarket. You can go to your local shop. You know what I mean? So it's accessible. I did that deliberately because I want young people to get involved. So it's very easy. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's easy to read. A lot of activities to keep you occupied, especially over the summer holidays now as well. So yeah, man.
So kids, you heard it. You heard what he said. Go and grab the book and get experimenting. Listen, what does the top look like for you? You've achieved so much in such a short space of time. That's been like, it's been meteoric. You've just been going and going. When you look at what you could possibly achieve and do and people you could impact, how does that look in your mind's eye?
Well, like the way that I perceive myself, yeah, is a science communicator. So we've got people like David Attenborough, Sir Brian Cox, Neil deGrasse Tyson. All of these people, what they do is break down science in a way that is digestible for the masses, and that's what I'm doing. So that's how I see myself, somebody who's making science easier to understand for people, and yeah, just more accessible. That's how I view myself.
Thanks for your time, Big Manny. I ask this to everybody though. What team do you support, mate?
Arsenal.
All right, it's a good thing I left that to the end.
What about you?
Tottenham.
Ah, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. Listen, we'll catch up on the next book, right?
Yes.
Anything else you want to share with us before we go? I normally say leave us with your socials and where people can find you, but everybody knows where you are, and if you want to share it, you can.
Yeah, man. I would just tell young people, stay curious. You know what I mean? Ask a lot of questions, and prepare early for your exams. Don't wait for the last minute. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Those two things: stay curious and prepare early.